Hi guys, sorry that it's been such a wait for my last tutorial. I know I'm a few behind now. I had a few technical issues with things stopping working, so I couldn't record anything for a little while, but I'm back now, so I hope you guys are ready for the next instalment of tutorials. So one of the ones that I haven't yet done, which I'm going to do now, is for Broken by Jake Bugg. So I hope you find this useful. The first thing to say about this is that mostly, excuse me, funny voice, that mostly I'm going to be singing this an octave above where Jake Bugg sings, but that doesn't change where I'm playing it. So the capo for either the Jake Bugg version or mine is on capo 1, so in the first position, and then you are going to play the chords of E minor, G, C and D, and those are the 4 chords all the way through. There's kind of a few different things that you'll come across in this song that might make this a bit more tricky than some of the ones that I've done a tutorial for before, but hopefully I can show you what to do and it'll make sense. So the first chord to show you is the E minor chord. You'll have seen me do it if you've watched any of my other tutorials before, but I will demonstrate it again, just so you know, for each individual song that you're wanting to play. So to start off with, E minor is you want to put your second finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, so that's there. And obviously this is not technically E minor because we've got a capo on, so don't forget that this is just the shapes that I'm teaching you, really. So that's the second finger rather, and then you want to put your 3rd finger just below that, on the string below, on the 2nd fret of the D string, so that's there. And for this chord you can play all of your strings for that one. This does involve quite a tricky finger picking pattern, so hopefully you'll be able to follow follow what I'm teaching you if I get it right. So I'll tell you about that later, but one thing to say is with the E minor, sometimes I play with just the ordinary standard E minor, and sometimes I think it's in the verses, I'm well, the sort of first bit, and then later on in the second, I would call them the verses. They don't quite call them on this version that I've got that, but yeah, I'd say they're the verses. So they put the first finger, not first finger rather, the little finger on the 1st string, so the top E, on your 2nd fret, so it sounds like that all together, and you kind of, well, I do anyway, I sort of hammer that on, so you know, you take it off and put it back on during the actual playing, and sometimes I'll finger pick with the thumb plucking the bottom E string during the E minor chord, and sometimes I will pluck the A string with my thumb. It's just to add a bit of an extra dimension to the song, really, and a bit of dynamics. So that's E minor. And then you've got your G chord, so you want to again have your second finger on the A string on the second fret, and then your third finger on your bottom E on your third fret, and then your little finger goes again on your third fret but on your top E string. So that's G. Then your C chord, you want to put your first finger on the B string on the first fret. That's there. Then your second finger goes on your D string on the second fret, and then your third finger goes on the A string on the third fret. And for your C chord, you don't play your bottom E string, so just these top 5 ones. And then finally for D, you want to put your first finger on your G string on the second fret. Then your second finger goes underneath that but 2 strings away, so on your second fret of your top E string, and then your third finger on your B string on the third fret. So it's a little triangle. And with your D chord, you don't want to play all the strings again, so you miss out these bottom 2 strings and you just play your top 4 strings. And that's how to play all the chords. Well, with regards to the picking pattern for broken, you start off with your G chord, and so that's, you know, get your chord ready in position, and I've said this in other videos, but I'm gonna say it in all of them, just in case people are just picking and choosing which songs they want to learn. Then what you need to do for finger picking, I mean, other people do it in different ways, but this is how I've learned how to do it. So I tend to use my thumb for the bottom 3 strings, and it just moves around depending on which chord you're playing. So like I was saying, with your G and your E minor shape chords, you don't need to worry about missing strings, so you have free rein to play all of the strings. So generally speaking, when you're playing a G chord, you'll pluck the bottom E string with your thumb. With E minor, you can probably either do your bottom E string, or you can do your A string, depending on what sound you want, really. Some songs seem to suit having a more bassy sort of sound to them, so that's what that bottom string will give you. So then the next thing is that you use your 3 fingers here to either sort of rest or hover over your top 3 strings, so that they're they get used to that position, and then that finger is always ready to play that string. So your first finger goes on your G string, then your second finger goes on your B string, and your third finger goes on your top E. And then actually what you do is you pluck your thumb with the bottom E string, then your first finger plays the G string, your second finger plays the B string, and then your first finger goes back to the G string again, and then your third finger goes to your top E, and then back up to your second finger on the B string, back up again to your first finger on the G string, and then back to your B string again with your second finger. So altogether it sounds like this. And so that picking pattern is repeated throughout. So when you play the E minor, it's exactly the same picking pattern, but for some of them you're going to add your little finger, as I said at the beginning of the video, onto your top E string on the second fret. So sometimes, as I said, with your E minor, as I do, you might want to play your bottom E string with it, and then other times you might want to play the A string with this chord. So the first time I play it, so for my little sort of intro bit, I don't put my little finger on, and I just play it standard. So again, with your thumb on the bottom E string, and then your first finger on your G string, then your second finger on the B string, then your first finger again on the G string, down to your third finger rather, on the top E string, and then back up to your second finger on your B string, back up to your G string with your first finger, and then back down again to your second finger on the B string. So that sounds like this. And then if you get into the first verse, then you add your little finger, or I do anyway. So it goes like this. So it's just the same picking pattern, just with your little finger added. Or you can then, because you play twice round on the chords, you can take the little finger off and play your A string instead with your thumb. And it just adds that extra dimension to it. So really it's choosing what you want to do with it, and just making your version of the song. I can't say that I'm I'm definitely doing the same thing or the same every time I'm playing around the chords. So I just play by feel really. Then with your C shape, you use your thumb to pluck the A string, and it's again the same pattern. So your A string with your thumb, then your first finger on the G, then your second finger on your B string, back to the first position, first finger rather, with your G string again, down to your top E string with your third finger, and then back to your second finger on B string rather, and then your first finger goes back to the G string, and your second finger back to the B string again. So and then your final chord is your D shaped chord. So with this one, you move your thumb again, and the rest of the fingers are all in the same position, playing the same strings, at the same in the same places. So you use your thumb to pluck the D string, and then you pluck your first finger on the G string, your second finger on the B string, your first finger goes back to the G string again, then down to or up to your top E string with your third finger, then back to your second finger on your B string, back to the G string with your first finger, and back again to B string. So it's like this. And that's pretty much it really. So all that's left is to sort of show you how they... Now one last thing to apologise for is that I posted and indeed sang the wrong lyrics on this song. That'll trust me to go back to looking on a proper lyric site rather than teach me rather to look on a proper lyric site rather than looking at the lyrics on Ultimate Guitar, which is what I did. So what I think I put on the lyrics originally was "I'm waiting for you" at the beginning, which actually it says "I'll wait here for you," and what else did I... Oh, when I get to the last sort of section of the song, and it sort of changes slightly. It goes "travelling a street that I did not go," which I did put sing right, but instead of, I think I said "weaves lifetime to the winter load," which actually is totally wrong. And probably doesn't actually make much sense. So it said "wheels locked on to the winter lope." So I'll try and change that in the description if for people who are trying to sing along or sing the correct words and do their own version of the song. I'll change the lyrics on there. But so you start off with your intro. So basically, I'm just going around the chords in the same way that I would do in the song. But as I say, the first time round, I'm not putting my little finger on for the E minor chord, just because I kind of want to add more dynamic and interest to the song. So I choose where I put it and sort of, as I say, play more by feel. So to start off with, it's the intro. And you play through the chords each twice. So do the pattern twice for each chord. And then it goes into I'll wait here for you. And then that's the point that you add your little finger. For I'm broken down with the D. And then back to your G again. Coming down. This time, so onto your C. For my heart lies on D. Far and away where they took you down on G. Let them over to your house. So again, I don't put my little finger on. And then that's a C, and then to D again. Down by the people, if they let you breathe. E minor. Don't give a damn if you still can't see. To C. Still my heart beats on D. For you have become, with your little finger on again, but all I lost and all I hoped for. So C to D, G. Let's carry on. Always one, C. Never broken, D. Run to the lobby where I saw you try is G. Don't give a damn for your reasons why, E minor to C. And then why I'm broken is D. C, down in the valley where the church bells cried, back to D. And then I'll lead them over to your eyes. So I'll just point that bit out. That's slightly different there. So it's the E minor. So you play the full picking pattern just once on I'll lead them over to your eyes. And then when you get to the C, which is sort of over the two bit of that phrase, then you just play four of the notes there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the same with the G. I'll lead them over to your eyes. Oh no, it's not the same with the G, is it? It's the full, back to the full pattern again. So it's just with the C. It's a quick change, so you can only fit in those 4 notes. I'll lead them over to your eyes. And then woe is E minor to C. I am 1, G to C. I am 1, back to G again. And then break, G. Story of, back to E minor again. Peace and love, C. In a future, D. then down by the people if they let you breathe is G. Back to E minor. Don't give a damn if you still can't see. Travelling a street that I did not go. C. Wheels locked onto the winterlope. That's D. And then back to the C for down in the valley where the church bells cry. Down in the valley where the church bells cry, D. And then again the same as that other bit where we sing the same lyrics there, so I'll lead them over to your eyes. I'll lead them over to your eyes. So just E minor, C, G, but the C is again just with the four notes. And then back to the G, and then you have your E minor chord for woe, C, I am one, G, and then back to E minor for woe again, I am one, so C, I am one, G, to C, I am one. So you finish on that G chord. And that's broken. So hope you found that useful and not too confusing, because sometimes I was messing bits up there, but hopefully that's helped you to learn the song. And as I've said before in other tutorials, if you ever struggle with learning any specific part of it, whether it's the picking pattern or getting the chords in the right place, just slow the video down and or pause it until you feel comfortable and confident that you've got everything in the right place. And if you try and play along with me, then hopefully you'll hear where my changes are if it's a bit confusing, because when you're actually singing along with it, you sort of hear where the changes should be, but as I said, most of the way through the song you're playing each chord twice, so the pattern twice through, apart from those couple of sections where I mentioned it's slightly different. Hope that helps.